Hi there, welcome to day 27. So today let's go over our quote of the day. It's going to be Ruth chapter 1 verse 16. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn my back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." Okay, and that's the quote of the day. So what are we covering today? We're covering adding elements to an array. So I think maybe a few videos back we covered the intro to an array. So let's cover adding elements to an array. Okay, so let's try this. Let's just start with an empty array so we could get everybody back on track. So this is how you create an empty array. Okay, and then if you wanted to create an array with some elements, some values in it, this is how you do it. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, then 4. So these are some elements we have in the array, and without these values it will be an empty array. So let's maybe start with appending to an array. So appending means updating. So let's add so this is one way you could do it. You could just do, so we'll call the array that's above there. So that's the array name. And so well I'm just calling the variable array, and we're going to initiate the array name, the actual array. And then I would want to add, I'll do a plus sign and then 5. Okay, and then I'm just going to write host, because we want to print to the screen to see what the array value will look like. Alright, so let's see what, so the expectation is that it'll add, it will append to the array. So it'll append meaning that it'll add a number 5 to the existing array. So let's see if that will work. Okay, so that worked. You see how it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how we add. That's how we append to an array to update it. Now, what if you want to append multiple values? Well, that could be done as well. So all we got to do is put 5 and then 6. Okay, so it will add 5 and 6 now, since these are multiple values. So let's add that now. So let's try it again. Yeah, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how you add single values and multiple values. Okay, so let's and then there's so there's another method you could do it as well. Instead of using plus, you could use plus equal, and then plus equal pretty much does the same thing. So if you want to try that, there you go. So you can use plus or plus equal, and that will cover it. There's another one you could use, is the add method. So let's see how we do that. So this method will require converting the array to an array list. So how do we do that? We will first need to convert it using the square brackets, and then you'll do system collections, then array list. Okay, so what it will do, it'll initialize this array and convert to an array list, and then we could use the add function. So I would let's call it array list to show that it's a little different here. Okay, and then okay, so Remember the name is array list, and what we're gonna do here is this is how you would do it. So you just do dot and then add, and now you would want to put the value you want to add here. So in this case we'll put 5. Okay, and then we'll write to the screen. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't know where that 6 got in. Oh, you know why? Because it took the value from the old array name. So just be careful of that. So I gotta name it to this new array list. So let's try it again. Okay, so the array list only has 4. Okay, I think maybe we're not supposed to kind of add it back to a variable, because I think this is like a variable in itself. So whatever you name the array, then this is automatically the array list. So once we do that, then this, you could use the array list as part of the variable. So let's try that. So we're expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So the reason why I showed up with 4 is because when I put the array list equals array list, it reset the whole array as a new list. So that's why you saw so it put a value in there. So there are many ways to do it. So we saw like this is like the third way of doing it. Okay, so let's do something a little more advanced here, and let's start with an empty array. So we'll call this array equals, and if you remember, this is how you create the empty array. Okay, and then so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to automatically generate some values to put in the array. So we create the empty array here, and the next step will be we're going to create a loop here. I know we talked about loops in the previous video, but we haven't reached the actual topic to cover detail in the video. So if you don't understand it fully, we'll get to that in some later videos. So first we assign the value I to 1. So that's a variable, since we all know that. And then I'm calling the variable I, and then LE is like an operator, so that means less than. Okay, and then we're going to do number 5. And we're going to do I plus plus, and I think you saw that in the video on how we could increment and decrement. Okay, and then we want to remember open, so the loop will have what we want to run the block of the loop, right? So this is where you put the curly braces. Okay. Alright, when you run the curly braces, now what do you want to do here? We want to add to the array, right? So we want to add to the array, and remember how we could use plus and plus equals. So I'm using the plus equal here, and then we want to add whatever value it reaches. So the goal here is to add, so we want to do from 1 to 4, because if it's, so it's just checking a range here. So we want to loop through everything where it starts with 1 and it ends with less than 5, which will be 4, right? So, and this will tell you, hey, I want to increment I on every iteration. So I equals to 1, so it adds 2, and then it starts another one, it adds 3 to the array, and etc. and etc. So that's what it's going to do. And then we could write out our array outside here so we could see what it looks like at the end. Okay, so remember we start with an empty array, then we're going to populate with some values automatically, and then we are going to read what the values are afterwards. So let's run this and see if it'll work. And there you go, it happened that fast. So It's less than 5 and I is less than 5. Okay. So if I is equal to 1 and I is less, oh, sorry, is less than and or equal to 5. That's what LE means. I forgot to mention that. So if it's LT, it will be less than. So my mistake. So LE means less than or equal to 5. That's how come we came up with the 5. All right, so that's how you populate some values in here. And let's go back to our quote of the day. Ruth chapter 1 verse 16. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." All right, so that's the quote of the day. Don't forget to read your Bible, and see you next time for another video. Thank you.